not here, the other guy. Maybe on the upper side, that lower side, man. That's far on that. How's your sound this night? Can you hear me now? Is it working? Yeah, it's not working. This radio sound way off frequency?
Sounds a little off to me.
Try to clarify a little bit to the right.
My clarifier is not unlocked.
One, two, 1, 2. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, just getting started here, just doing a few things, but just wanted to say hi. Who was that at the end there? I'm guessing whoever that is whistling knows it, but you're on AM.
I wasn't whistling, I was just testing the meters, see if they're working.
Let's see. Anyone listening on internet's land? Can you hear me okay? Hearing me all right? Hello, 1, 2. Just let me know in the chat if you don't mind, if you're hearing me okay.
Thompson.
Well, yeah, put a few buttons on, maybe I'll get out. Roger, Roger. Thank you very much.
Good to back, Vito. That's a pretty good trip.
I do believe you could be correct. Very good job. Yeah, you're doing good too.
Just checking those of you listening on Facebook. You let me know in the chat if you're hearing me okay. Everything sounds all right. Well, I guess it's about time we get started, huh?
I was just gonna say, wake up, radio man.
Alrighty then, here we go. It's time for Maine Sidebanders. We meet every Thursday, 8 p.m. When the skip's bad, we'll meet down here. If the skip starts to die down, we'll move back to 37. But anyways, all welcome to join. We call you in by the county, and just to keep roll call somewhat orderly. And if any of you are able to stick around after roll call, we're gonna ask you if the story behind your handle, if there's any story to it. Sometimes the handle, it's a nickname or there's a funny story behind it. So we'd like to know that after we get through roll call. And tonight we will start. We'll start our way up in the northern counties and work our way down south to York, and then we'll call in New Hampshire last. So, I heard Moose in there. So why don't we do Somerset County? How about it for Maine Sidebanders for Somerset County?
Anybody in Somerset County who want to check out Maine Sidebanders? Anybody in Somerset County? There can only be one.
That's right, Moose. We got you. Got a good copy on you. It's quiet here. I got an S1 on you, but I got a good copy on you, Moose. But we got you. Thank you for doing the relay there. In case there's any, I know there's a few guys out that way that may come in every once in a while. All right, let's move over to the coast, and let's try to grab Waldo and Knox County. How about Waldo and Knox County for Maine Sidebanders? All right, not hearing anybody. Let's move on. Let's move down the coast a little bit. How about Lincoln County? Lincoln County. Okay, Mr. Paranoid, we got you over in Waldoboro. How you doing this evening?
Well, we're doing good. Just listening in to the roll call.
Okay, Mr. Paranoid, we got you S3. Good copy on you. Band's nice and quiet over here. Thank you very much. Anyone else in Lincoln County for Maine Sidebanders? Lincoln County.
Eagle 2167.
Hey, Regal, how's it going? You doing good? Copy that. Yeah, I got you about S5. You're hitting S7, so we'll split the difference and call it an S6 there. You're kind of swinging up to S7 there, but we got a good copy on your Regal. Good evening. All right, another call. How about Lincoln County for Maine Sidebanders? All right, not hearing anyone else. We'll move up to the north there, and how about Kennebec County? Kennebec County for Maine Sidebanders. Oh boy, I got two of you at the same time, and I couldn't figure out who was who, so we're going to have to try that again. Okay, we got you, Birdman and Augusta. Hold on a second. That other station, Birdman, come back one more time. Just see if I can get a signal reading on you. You made it over the top of that other guy. So one more time, Birdman.
Yeah, 10-4, you got the Birdman over here in Augusta. Checking in on Maine Sidebanders evening.
Okay, Birdman, got a good copy on you. Got you S5 that time. Okay, well, glad to hear you. There was another station in Kennebec County that Birdman just edged you out there. Go ahead for that other station in Kennebec County. I didn't quite make out who that was. I don't know. Maybe your audio was a little on the low side. I'm not sure, but I didn't hear who that was.
Sparkplug, South Carolina.
Ah, thank you, Cobra. Sparkplug and South Gardner. Hey, Sparkplug, try it one more time there. Let me see if I can get a signal reading on you here. I'll see if I can get some S-meter reports on you guys. Okay, we got you S2. Little weak, but we got you there, Sparkplug. Okay. Anyone else for Kennebec County before we move on? Okay, I heard 7. Did I get that right, 7? Hey, 7. You doing anything different over there? I'm not getting a lot of signal on you tonight. I'm just making sure I'm not having a problem over here. Okay, copy that. I'm running it conservative. Just wanted to make sure. All right, copy that, 7. Anyone else for Kennebec County before we move on? I don't know if that was noise or 2 people at once, but one more try. I didn't get anything but a heterodyne. Try it again. All right, we're going to call it. We got nothing. All right, we're going to move on. To Franklin County. Why don't we do Franklin and Oxford County? Franklin and Oxford County for Maine Sidebanders.
Eagle Bravo 505 Maine. And number 7 was sounding good. 4.
Okay, I got TB 505 in I got to correct in Canton. And okay, how about Franklin and Oxford County? Franklin and Oxford County for Maine Sidebanders. And TB 505, I got you S3 for you. Go ahead for anyone else there, Franklin or Oxford County.
Oxford County. Anybody from Maine Sidebanders? Franklin, Oxford County. Give it a shot.
I didn't hear anybody fix it unless you did.
No, I didn't hear nobody.
Okay, fix it. We got you down at S7. Fix it over in Oxford. All right, we're going to move on to Androscoggin County here. We're going to grab Androscoggin, and then after Androscoggin, we're going to grab Sagadahoc. So appreciate everyone's patience here. All right, Androscoggin County for Maine Sidebanders. Oh, hey, Wingnut. Boy, you're starting to make this a regular thing, aren't you?
Oh, hey, I'm trying to keep up with it.
All right, well, it's good to hear you, Wingnut. Got you S7 over here tonight. All right, I wonder, Wingnut. There must be a story behind Wingnut. There was something the other day about Solon. Oh, I remember what it was. Something I was looking at on Facebook Marketplace. All right, anyone else for Androscoggin County? Androscoggin County, Maine Sidebanders.
207 over here in Minot.
Okay, 207, mine it. And we also got you at an S3 and 207 and mine it. Very good. Anyone else? Androscoggin County, Maine Sidebanders.
Cobra Wales.
Okay, Cobra in Wales. We got you, S9. I'm sure everyone's hearing you pretty good tonight. You're kind of the high ground for this area. All right. Another call for Androscoggin County, Maine Sidebanders. All right, not hearing anything else. Let's move quickly here. We'll go to Sagadahoc County. How about Sagadahoc County for Maine Sidebanders?
Steel toe, boat man, waving a hand.
Okay, we got you, Steel Toe. I got you like S6, but you were kind of peaking sometimes S9 or S7, so we'll put you down as an S. We'll call that an S7. All right. Sagadahoc County for Maine Sidebanders. Sagadahoc County. All right, Clearwater and Topsom. Good evening. Try that one more time. There was a little bit of a heterodyne under your signal. I just want to see. I'll give you an S meter reading here off the striker.
Bacon on the wood stove.
All right, Clearwater. We got you S6 over here in New Gloucester. Very good. All right. Another call for Sagadahoc County for Maine Sidebanders.
You got Runt and Bowden checking in.
Okay, Runt and Bowden. Very good copy. Good copy on your Runt. I got you S9 over here. I tend to hear people over that way pretty well. All right. That was Runt and Bowden. All right. Another call for Sagadahoc County for Maine Sidebanders.
Maine Sidewinder?
Yep, Maine Sidewinders. No, you goof. The Sidebanders. Did I say Sidewinders?
I'm just fucking with you.
Copy that. Well, see as you keyed up, we're just going to put you down, Taz. And I got you S8, Taz and Pownell. One last call for Sagadahoc County. Sagadahoc County before we move on.
Hey, me.
Not hearing anyone else, we're going to move on to Cumberland County. Cumberland County, how about it for Maine Sidebanders?
1221 over here in Cumberland, waving a hand.
Okay, we got, let's see, 1221. I was just typing it in here to the spreadsheet. And we got you at a solid S8, Bear, 1221. And that came up right, Cumberland. The spreadsheet auto-populates the locations too. So I just want to make sure I had that right. All right. Maine Sidebanders, Cumberland County. Oh, hey, Jim in Portland. Try that one more time, Jim. See if I think last time I had like an S1 on you, but try it one more time, Jim. Well, we're going to call that an S3. I can't tell. There's another signal on you. I'm not sure if you're riding in on that signal or not, but we'll call it an S3. We're close enough for government work here. All right, another call for Cumberland County for Maine Sidebanders.
And 323 here, 327.
Oh, hey, 327. And were you also putting your grandfather down there? And I got you S7 from Raymond. Are we also your grandfather?
Yeah, Grandpa is here.
Cape Elizabeth.
Okay. We got you 323, your grandson and grandfather there. Very glad to have you guys. 4107. I think I got you down under high pressure, but that's all right. Go ahead there down in Cape Elizabeth. Make another transmission there. You kind of came in with 323, so go ahead, 4107.
Yeah, sorry about that, 323. I didn't hear you in there. 4107, Maine.
Okay, yeah, we got you S6 over here. Good copy on. You're kind of close to 323 and 327 signal. So, all right. Who else we got for Cumberland County for Maine Sidebanders? Cumberland County.
You got Maniac over here in Wyndham.
Oh my God, we got Maniac in Wyndham. Maniac, how's it going this evening?
Going.
All right, well, we're going to put you down at S8. That was about as quick as I could get when you said going. All right, another call. I think I heard somebody under Maniac. Maniac hit me with an S8, so that's a pretty big signal. So who was that? Was there someone else for Cumberland County?
I just said going round and round.
All right, we got Taz over there in Palinol at S8. Another call for Cumberland County. Cumberland County, another strong signal. So if there's someone under him, you're going to have to try it again.
384 Sebago.
Okay, 384. We got you that time. Welcome back from Sebago. Sorry about that. A couple strong stations. They're putting a hurting on you there. So 384 in Sebago. Now that you got the floor, go ahead and try it again, and I'll take a reading off the S meter here for you.
Okay, I say again, 384 Sebago. 384 Sebago.
Okay, 384 Sebago. All right, we got you now at an S2. I'm guessing you're probably hearing, you must hear 327 and 323 pretty good. They're shooting right across the lake to you probably.
I do.
All right, copy that. You guys hear 384 all right? They're 327 or 323?
Oh, we can hear him pretty well.
Okay, very good. All right, well, just checking. I know you guys probably get out pretty well to the west from your location. All right, another call for Cumberland County on Maine Sidebanders. Another call, Cumberland County, Maine Sidebanders. All right, all we got left here is York and the state of New Hampshire. So next week we'll grab the South first. But York County, go ahead for Maine Sidebanders. Any stations in York County? I didn't get anybody. I'll try one more time. York County for Maine Sidebanders. I'm not hearing anyone. Cobra, did you hear anybody?
I haven't heard anybody.
Okay, thank you, sir. Yeah, usually I hear Robin Hood, MacGyver, and I'm trying to think, Pigpen. I usually hear those guys, so. All right, well, let's try state of New Hampshire. Any stations? State of New Hampshire, before we grab any stragglers. State of New Hampshire. Okay, before we wrap up roll call, let's grab any stragglers. Is there anyone that missed their chance? Anyone that missed their chance that would like to get in on roll call before we open it up to conversation here? Anyone that would like to get in? Maine Sidebanders? Anyone anywhere?
Yeah, you Swiper and Auburn.
Okay, Swiper, we got you. We got you S7 Swiper. How you doing this evening?
Doing excellent.
Okay, and you're taking care of yourself? No no injuries?
Oh, no, I've been sick for a while there, but I'm on the mat there. I'm feeling real good. Been sick all last week and finally coming around this week.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that. I know I've been seeing people at work that have been, going through it. So fortunately, I don't know, I've been dodging the bullet. Maybe because I was sick at the beginning of the winter. I don't know. All right. Well, another call. Any stragglers for Maine Sidebanders? Any stragglers that would like to get in? All right, I'm not hearing anyone else. That brings us up to 24 for roll call, including myself. Hey, Moose, if you got a copy and you're still in there, is there any story behind the handle Moose or how you decided to choose the handle Moose if you're still there? Well, is there any story behind how you came up with the handle Moose?
I guess the handle Moose was in the military back in '97 in Korea. No one knew where Maine was. Once we had a Maine, they said, well, we got Moose. From that point on, everybody called me Moose.
Okay, well, for anyone that didn't hear Moose, he said it was because when he was in the military, being from Maine and Korea, they asked him about, what do you got in Maine? He says, we got Moose, and he said from that point forward, he was known as Moose, so... Well, there you go. Yeah, I guess we are known for moose here in Maine, that's for sure. All right, well, very good. How about Mr. Paranoid, Waldoboro? And Mr. Paranoid, Waldoboro, what about you? It's got to be... I know you're always talking about your straitjacket. What about you?
Those records are sealed. Cannot be opened to this day, but it goes back to the 80s for me with my handle for Paranoid.
All right, copy that. Records are sealed. Records are sealed. So those will take an act of Congress to get to open there. Copy that. All right, Regal, if you're still with us, why don't you tell everyone on here, is there any story behind the handle Regal? Regal in Dresden, go ahead.
Comment open. Goes back to the fine form of my painted hands. Story behind my handle. Yes, there is quite a story behind my handle. Listen, believe that, right? As you see, I signed on as illegal Regal tonight. That's my full press caption. I've chopped that down over the years down to Regal. Originally, it was illegal Regal. And the reason for that is I had a 77 two-door Buick Regal. It was legal for the road, but I was not. There you go. That's where my handle comes from. Every time I turned an eye, it was a cop pulled me over. So the car earned me up to 7-time habitual offender status, 4 years. So that's where the illegal Regal came from. My license is clean these days, but back when I was a young buck, PTE just tapped on it and not being legal and the wrong choices. It got me in a little bit of a pickle. So that's what my handle stems from. Illegal Regal.
Okay, Regal. Well, just for in case anyone didn't copy, it goes back to the 70s, and I'm paraphrasing off the top of my head here, so if I miss anything, apologies, but the full handle is illegal Regal, and it goes back to back in the 70s. He had a 77 Buick Regal, which was legal for the road, but Regal was not legal for the road because his license was not clean. So when he was on the road, he was a legal Regal. And he assures everyone that his license now is clean and good to go. So just to paraphrase that in case anyone missed it. How about Birdman over there in Augusta? Birdman in Augusta. I think I got a guess on you, but go ahead. All right, I'm not hearing Birdman at Augusta. He must have went to the refrigerator. How about Sparkplug in South Gardner? Sparkplug, is there any story behind the handle? All right, we lost Sparkplug. I'm going to guess we lost 7 too. Maybe not. 7 in Chelsea. Any story behind the handle? All right, we'll keep moving here. And we're going to grab TB505 in Canton and fix it and then Wingnut. So in case any are listening, you're coming up. TB505 in Canton, any story behind the handle?
Yeah, certainly. I've got a 1974 Vega wagon that is basically a race car that's street legal with the exception of the license plate for this state. And I also have radios. My radio's just as an outlaw as my cars are. And so I came up with it's easier to say, and when I'm doing CQTXs to England, it sounds like I have a ham license.
Okay, and just so I know, you use TB505 because you're shooting skip, but what's the handle that you use? I know you said about the Vega wagon, but just refresh my memory on the handle.
That is my handle, TB505 Maine.
Oh, okay. All right, I lost you there when you said talking about the 1974 Vega wagon race car. Are you just sharing that with Regal?
No, my radios and my cars are both illegal.
Oh, copy. Okay, all right, gotcha. They're both illegal. All right, gotcha. The radio's illegal and the car is illegal. All right, I got you. Sorry about that.
No problem. Don't just tell anybody, though.
We're all in the trust tree here. All right, Fix It. You're up next. Fix It. You got any story behind your handle?
Well, I kind of figured you probably already know that one, but yeah, back in the day when things were made smart and simple, there wasn't nothing I couldn't fix. Everybody always had good luck when they brought something for me to fix. So they pinned that handle on me. I used to be just crazy CC, they called me, and yeah. Everyone got together and said, name needs to be Mr. Fix-It. So there I am.
All right, Fix It. Well, there you go. So people bring things over and tell you to fix it. All right, so we got Wingnut, 207, and Cobra coming up here. So Wingnut and Auburn, you got any story you'd like to share on the handle Wingnut?
Well, it has to do with my last name. My last name is Wing, so I guess that was an easy one for everybody to come up with, but they call me Wingnut at work, and sometimes they'll call me Wingnut even around family, so seemed like a good handle for the radio there.
You know, it's funny. I didn't even make that connection about your last name. I just assumed because you work with electricity that Wingnut. But okay, so it's a combination of both. All right, very good. How about 207? So we got 207, Cobra, and Steel Toe. 207, if you're still with us. Any story behind the handle? Okay, no copy on 207, and Floyd is listening in. He's on his way home. And Pipeline is listening to us, and but I think what he's trying to say here is maybe he's a little under the weather, so he can't make the radio. And I guess they're getting reports that Cobra's being heard up in northern Maine. 389 Jim and Wade. Here's you guys. So I'm just deciphering this stuff on the fly here. All right. We didn't get, how about Cobra? Cobra, you're up next. Any story behind the handle Cobra, if you're still with us, Cobra? No, we lost him. How about Steel Toe? Steel Toe, you still with us? Any story on the handle Steel Toe? All right, we lost him. I'm going to grab, before it gets too late, how about 327 and Raymond? I'm going to jump ahead real quick. 327. Is there any story behind the numbers, the handle, anything like that, 327?
Oh, there's not much of a story behind it, but it's just really a number that me and my grandfather came up with together because I'm trying to find a cool name because I've heard it, and that's what I decided.
All right, very good. Well, for those of you who don't know, 327 is grandfather. They get on together from Raymond, and no story. They just kind of pick those numbers. Yeah, and, you know, most of us know, some of us use numbers when we shoot skip. Hold on, I got to turn down my scanner. It's too loud. There we go. Well, thank you. All right, I just wanted to grab you real quick before it got too late. And I'm going to jump back over to Clearwater. Clearwater, you still with us, Clearwater? Any story behind the handle?
I got a long story here. I live down near Marinating Bay, and there's 6 rivers that run into it. The only place in the world that 6 rivers run into a mixing bowl. Plus it has a tide. And one of the rivers that comes in is Muddy River. And that's nearest my house, so I picked that years ago, Muddy River. But my son, after he grew up and moved out, he lived near there. He wanted my handle, so I gave it to him. So I went 2 years without a handle. Finally, one of his in the front said, Muddy River, Clearwater. Well, that's how I got my Clearwater name.
Well, I don't know if I can paraphrase all that, but in case anyone didn't copy, he started out Muddy Water because where he lived there was 6 rivers going into a bowl, and apparently it was tidal. And I think he said his son took the handle at one point, and he had to take Clearwater. Sorry, I don't write it down. I'm trying to memorize it all in my head as you say it. But, well, there you go, Clearwater. Hopefully everyone heard that, or most everyone at least.
You did a good job.
I try. Well, how about Runt? Runt, if you're still with us, we got Runt, Tasman, and myself coming up here. Go ahead, Runt. And we lost Runt. All right, well, there's a little bit of a story behind mine. I mean, I've been on the radio for quite a while. I got started out, probably when I was about 327's age. So I had different handles over the years, but I'll start with the one I have now. When I got on the radio in this area, I was talking with Screwdriver because he's my neighbor. And he was like, well, what's your handle? And I was like, I hadn't thought about it, and I used to use when I was younger Ridge Runner because I used to like watching the Dukes of Hazzard. And you remember Uncle Jesse, his moonshine running gang was called the Ridge Runners. And he said, no, you can't use Ridge Runner because that's my dad's handle. I'm like, son of a gun. So I said, fine, call me Bob, and because that's my real name. And he goes, no, you can't use that because that's what they call me. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. So I said, fine, call me No Name. Nope, you can't use No Name because we got a No Name. I'm like, oh my God, for Christ's sakes, you got to be kidding me. So, for those of you who don't know, I spent most of my adult working life up until about 7 or 8 years ago working in commercial radio communications. I started in high school working for two-way radio companies, so commercial they call it land mobile radio, like what you'd see fire departments and businesses. And so I worked in that. I started out in high school, and I worked all the way, like I said, just about damn near my whole adult life until I changed. Same career, but I don't work with radios. I still work in electronics, but I don't work with radios anymore. So anyways, when I would show up to a service call, they would say, oh, the radio man's here. So every time I showed up to a service call, they go, the radio man's here. Sometimes I had to go find trucks out on job sites. So they get on the radio and they say, hey, get back to wherever, the radio man's here to look at your radio. So I said, well, why don't you call me the radio man? Because that's what everyone calls me, is the radio man. So that's my long story there. Oh, and I just realized I got to throw it to the next person. Bear, 1221, if you're still in there, any story behind the handle? If you're still in there, go ahead. And he gone. Well, we got Jim and 323 coming up. Jim in Portland. How about you? You got any stories behind that handle?
Oh, yeah, that's my name. But back in the old days, I used to go by SBJ. And the reason was, I had an old Courier,
It was off frequency, so they all started calling me Sideband Jim.
All right. Well, for those of you in there that are not hearing Jim in Portland, he says, well, he goes by Jim now, and he says, that's my name. But in the old days, he went by SBJ, and that's because he had an old radio and it was off frequency. So they called him Sideband Jim. So there you go. How about 323? You got anything to share on your handle? 323 and then 4107 and Maniac are coming up. So 323, go ahead. No copy on 323. So 4107, high pressure, Cape Elizabeth. Any story behind the handle there? All right, negative copy. We're coming up at the tail end of the list here. And Maniac and Wyndham, if you're still in there, go ahead.
All I remember is, uncle in Florida. I was doing something down there on summer vacation, and I just remember him. And that's what he called me. I don't remember why, but that's all I remember about it.
Copy that. Well, your radio's sounding good. It's got good audio, and yeah, I could see how you're a bit of a maniac. 384 in Sebago. If you're still with us, 384. Is there any significance behind the numbers 384?
Oh, I'm still in here, but I'll wait my turn.
Well, I don't hear 384, so go ahead, Tasman. Take it away.
I started out as Taz years ago, and then I got back on the radio, and it was somebody up around Auburn, somewhere. Somebody else. It wasn't Auburn. It was down Portland, somewhere that way. Oh, that's the original Taz. I'm like, fuck you, man. No, I don't think so. And then I just, a friend of mine's name is similar, so I just, come up with the name Tasman.
Okay, copy that. So yeah, a little discrepancy over the handles. All right, well, Swiper in Auburn, if you're still in there, you're the last one. Go ahead, Swiper.
Yeah, well, my father was on the radio when I was a kid, and his handle was Side Swiper. And as a kid, I thought he was, it was about slamming your car into another car. But come to find out, it was about the industry he was in. He was a hanging siding, and there was a tool that you'd use to unlock panels and lock panels in when it was difficult. That's called a side swiper. Well, I took his handle when I got on the radio, and it just got shortened to Swiper.
Oh, man. I thought it was a different reason.
Dora the Explorer.
No, I mean, I thought it was because it took you such a long time to swipe because, you was such a big asshole. But now you lost the name Swiper, we call you Swisher.
Wow. Well, I can safely say I learned something new. I learned something about Swiper, and I learned something new about vinyl siding. I know what that tool is, but I don't know what the hell it's called. I got one in my toolbox. But and just want to, let's see, we got Jaybird in Bellingham, Washington's listening in, and 572 in the Buckeye also listening to us on the internet. So that's everybody. If there's anyone in there that would like to chime in, if I missed you, you've been listening, go ahead. All right. What about 327? You still in there? You got anything you got to add? You chomping at the bit to talk here? Yeah, I think 3:27. I try to catch him before it gets too much past 8:30. I think he has to get ready for bed or something. I'm not sure. But all right. Well, very good. That's everybody. So we can just shoot the bull, or anyone's got anything they want to say. But that was pretty much what we had. 24 people tonight, and the big signal, I guess. The big signal was Cobra. Looking at the signal reports here, that was a tie between Cobra and Runt on the big signal. So there you go.
Well, it is a school night. How about that Swisher? You up there? Oh, you're nudging mad at me now. All right, I'll be quiet the rest of the night.
Oh, big old Swisher sweet.
Yeah, back when I guess I could share this one. Back when I first got on the radio, seeing as I didn't want to tie it up, but now everyone's kind of talked. Back when I was first on the radio, this was kind of funny. I was like 12 or 13. I used to like to read comic books, and I really liked this obscure comic book. And at the time, this movie came out for the comic book, which it was a shitty movie, but because I was a kid, I thought it was great, and I read the comic book. So I went by Darkman, which was a comic, and I talked on the radio for years as Darkman. And I was a kid, it was all adults on the radio. I mean, a couple of my friends had radios too. But one day this guy says, "Hey, I got a question for you." And he's like, "I don't care." But he goes, "Are you black?" It's like, "Why do you say that?" He goes, "I don't know. You call yourself Darkman." He goes, "I just assumed you were black." So I had that handle for quite a while, and I think I changed it around the time I got into high school, and I went with a new one. And when I got to high school, yeah, go ahead, TB505. Go ahead.
Yeah, back in the 80s, I was first getting into the radio, and I had my CB. I had a 70 Cadillac that was hot rodded out, jacked up, and big hood scoop. And I was called, my handle was Radcad, R-A-D-C-A-D, Radcad, which stood for Radical.
Copy that on the Rad Cad. See, there you go. There's another little story behind the handle.
Yeah, and a story behind the new handle that I have also. I have my Hot Rod Vega that is number one R-A-D Vega, one Rad Vega. And I was going to be TB 350 because it's got a small block 350 in it. But the 505, I was so paranoid about getting busted that I decided to make my call letters TB 505 Maine because it sounded more conformative to a 10-meter ham radio guy.
Ah, okay, copy that. You've been shooting a lot of skip lately?
Yeah, I am pretty much. I'm not on the radio that much, but like on Tuesdays I work on my hot rod in the other town where my other house is at, in my garage, and on Wednesdays I kind of shoot skip a little bit in the morning. Just people come back to me. A lot of people in Texas and a lot of taco benders, but I really enjoy the Maine Sidebander Club the best. You guys are all right.
Oh, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Glad you show up. And, yeah. Well, we try to keep it going here. We seem to do all right for a little statewide group.
Yeah, and a lot of people get my humor, too, you know.
Yeah, copy that. Well, oh, someone says I like your CB radio on Facebook. Yeah, that's the Striker 955 version 2. They got a Striker 955 version 3 out now. Surprised Hawkeye isn't on tonight.
Yeah, where's Screwdriver at?
Well, I don't know. You got me. Go ahead. Is that Pipeline? Go ahead, Pipeline. Oh, sure. Go ahead, Pipeline. We're all listening. Well, see, I learned something new. I assumed that maybe you did something in the oil and gas industry. So there you go. See, it has to do with music, but I know you're a musically talented guy playing instruments and singing. Those of you who don't know, I haven't seen you do it in a while, but I know sometimes you'll do stuff on TikTok. I don't know if you've done that in a while. I used to see you doing that. Do you still play live on TikTok? Okay, yeah, sorry to hear that about your health. I know it's frustrating when you can't do the things that you love to do. So, yeah, I was going to say, I thought I remember seeing you playing your guitar before live. So anyways, yeah. Well, yeah, I don't have to keep tying it up. If any of you guys want to talk with each other, I can just sit back here a little bit. Or if everyone wants to call it an early night, that's fine too. This is going just out to the internet. Catalyst UDX 122 on YouTube. The version 3, they shortened the chassis. So if you guys are familiar on the version 2s, when you open it up, there's open space between the control head and the board. So they shortened the version 3 chassis. They updated the channel encoder. I've never had an issue, but apparently sometimes it would skip channels. Trying to think what else they did. They added a VHF receiver to the version 3. So not only can you receive weather channels, you can program anything in the VHF band from like 160 to, like 130 to like 170. So you could kind of use your Striker as like a scanner. I don't think it really scans, but you could put VHF channels, listen only. It's a receive only. I'm trying to remember what else they did. I feel like there's a couple other things, but there was definitely updates. It's just not a jump to version 3. They definitely did updates. those are just the ones I can recall off the top of my head.
Pipeline, what radio do you have right now that you're on?
I'm on my email 160.
410 on that. Yeah, I had 555 anytime, but I stole that. It was the one that had all the knobs across. Right, in my mobile I run the same striker that Radio Man has, only mine is version 3.
How do you like the version 3? Hawkeye just got a version 3. How do you like it?
I love it. I got mine from Pronto Radios before they were even available to anybody. They were only sold to the radio shop, and they sent me theirs, and that was about a year ago.
Oh, wow. Do you use the VHF receive on it at all?
No, I sure don't. I just leave it like it is. I only use the AM and lower sideband and upper sideband on it, and it's just very few channels that I like.
Okay. I run a President George II, the export version. I bought it when it came out of Europe. So it's just like the George II FCC, but it's opened up, you know? And I like it a lot. I don't have any complaints, but I thought about maybe getting a Striker version 3, putting it in my mobile, and then moving the George II up to camp for a camp radio. I have no complaints with the President. I think President makes excellent stuff, but I think the Strikers have a little bit of an edge over the Presidents where they, you know, for like CB radio, the Strikers definitely get louder. They definitely got some bark to them.
Yeah, 10-4 on that, definitely. And the only reason I like the Strikers is, I was going to get a Galaxy, but the only reason I like the Strikers is because they're buttons and dials. Anything with a push button on it, besides high power and low power and filters, I just can't put my head around using it and programming it. I'm kind of old school, and I'm like a self-taught radio man. I just teach myself things.
Yeah, you wouldn't like the President George II. It's a lot of buttons. It does have an encoder knob, but the George II is a lot of buttons. And I know what you mean on the Striker. You know, it does have a menu on it, but for the most part, you operate the radio on knobs. So I know what you're saying, but when I saw that the Striker is a little shorter, that was one of the new version. That's what kind of appealed to me. So yeah, okay, yeah, just kind of curious.
Yeah, 410 on that, definitely. I like the Strikers a lot. And then Bone Crusher turned me on to this radio I got here right now, and I just love it. It's easy to use like a Striker. With the exception of now I'm in band F, which I never used before because I didn't know where the hell 26895 was. And then I looked through all the bands, and then I found it. But my antenna is tuned for the CB band. And I guess on this band we're like below channel 1 on the CB, which is just amazing for me. But I found it finally.
Yeah, well, we're glad you found us. A lot of us will come down here, like locally, like us down in like the Cumberland County, Androscoggin County. We use 26.815 when the skip's real bad. It's a little quieter down here. That's why we come down here. And And you can talk skip down here, but it tends to be local people. Like, it's not like the upper channels with shooting skip or the regular 40, but people will still answer you and talk to you. It's just a little different down here. But I like to use the upper channels and the lower channels.
10-4 on that, 10-4 on that. Yeah, when I got started in the 80s, I had a Radio Shack realistic base station that I had put in my car, and then I got a 300-watt kicker on it, and I had a big, giant, massive antenna on top of our apartment building, and every time I came down, it would blank out everybody's television, so I just had to nix that and just go at night and tee down only.
Go ahead. For those of you who didn't hear that might be listening, Pipeline was inquiring. He just put LED, I think he said headlights, in his vehicle, and now he's getting 6 S units of noise when he turns his headlights on, and was inquiring if there's anybody that had any suggestions.
Did you get them from Amazon? Yeah, they don't make the best quality stuff.
So, Pipeline, you got a copy on me? All right, let me try this. Is that any better? Does that bump up the signal a little bit to you so you can hear me a little better? Okay, so 2 things. One of them's kind of what TB505 said. Sometimes with modern electronics like LED lights, sometimes, try a different set. I don't know how much you paid for them, but, maybe a different brand. Obviously, not the same brand. That may not be feasible. But the other thing is that you may have to, what's probably happening is you're getting a little bit of RF that's being induced onto the power wires that's being generated by the LED bulb. And you may have to pass the wire through a ferrite and get like some wraps on a ferrite. I've had all kinds of problems at my house. It's mostly my daughter's bedroom because she gets this, set of LED lights, and those make noise. And then she got a wireless charger for her phone, and that makes noise. And I've had to go up to her room, and I think I've wrapped, at least 2 or 3 different devices in her bedroom in ferrite because the device, by the design of it, it radiates RF. So you may have to look. And I don't know how possible that would be for you, but, to get onto the wire harness that's feeding the bulb, and you wrap it as close as you can up to the bulb. You don't want to wrap it far back because it'll make like an antenna, if that makes any sense. So if you wrap it 2 feet away, you're going to have like 2 feet of antenna. So the idea is you want to wrap it up close to the bulb, and you want to try to kill that signal as close as you can to the bulb, if that makes any sense. Yeah, it's the same idea as like what people do with chokes on their antenna. It's the same idea. It's just they make like clamp-on ferrites. Some people say they're not as good, but they're a little easier to install because you could just put it over the wire and clamp it down. It's 50-50. I've used clamp-ons and they've worked, and I've used them and sometimes they don't work. The guys that are the hardcore purists say you got to get the solid ferrite core. But the clamp-ons might work where you could just grab the wire bundle and open it up like a clamshell and clamp it over the wire. If there's enough wire, if you can get a wrap through it, the more wraps, the better. But even if you could just clamp it, it might be enough to snuff it out. Yeah, that sucks, Pipeline. It's I've been there. So it's not so much the LED that's causing the issue. I'm gonna guess that this LED bulb has some sort of like cube or assembly at the back of it. There's usually some sort of power supply or something going on. There's usually some sort of circuitry. An LED itself really isn't a noise generating device. They usually have some sort of pulse width modulated power supply. Some people call them they switch on and off rapidly, and that's that noise that you're hearing. So that's why I suggested if it's possible to try a different brand, because their design might be different and it might cure it. Because I know in my pickup truck I have LED bulbs, and in my tail lights, I put them in my reverse lights for when I'm plowing. They're super bright LED bulbs in my reverse tail lights, and I don't notice anything when I throw my truck in reverse.
Radio man.
Yeah, go ahead, TB505.
I don't know, but would this make any difference if he wired his radio to a amplifier capacitor, or a 12-volt amplifier capacitor into the capacitor? Would that help him out at all?
I don't think so. I guess no. I mean, Pipeline, how is your radio wired? Is it like wired to a good ground, or are you wired into the fuse block? How is your radio wired? Sometimes when people try to tap into existing circuits and they don't have a good ground, sometimes that can raise hell. Okay, so it sounds like you're doing pretty good in that regard then, in terms of wiring. One thing you could try too that might be helpful is this just popped into my head. You could try turning your car on and your headlights, and when the noise is being generated, disconnect your antenna. And see if the noise goes away when you disconnect the antenna. It may drop down some, but see if the noise goes away. That would give you a clue. If the noise goes away, then you know it's being it's coming through your antenna line. But if you still hear the noise, it means that it's coming through on your DC power lead, and you might be able to buy an inline noise suppressor that goes in your power lead. And all those noise suppressors it's a capacitor and I think it's a toroidal inductor. So it's a ferrite, and it's got a wire wrapped around it. And you put that in line with the power feed with the radio. So just to recap, you could try disconnecting your antenna. If you still hear the noise with your antenna disconnected, you might be able to put a DC noise filter on your radio. And they're typically not very expensive. Like, you should be able to get one for like 20 or 30 bucks, like a decent one.
I would take them out and put your halogens back in for now and order another set because they're not all equal. Some of them are noisy like that. I wouldn't stay with the same brand. I'd go with a different brand. Other than that, the only thing else I could think of is maybe you run a shorter wire from the ground wire right to the chassis, right nearby. That way there you don't have to have the ground coming all the way back through to get back to the battery. That might help if you just ground them a little closer to where the bulbs are. On the wires that are going to the headlight, right behind the headlight where you hooked them up, there's one of them wires that are ground wire. The other two are for high beam and low beam. But if you ground that ground wire right to the chassis, right where they're at, you know, a little 10-inch piece of wire, just with a grommet, just to see if that'll knock out quite a bit of that ground noise. Because, you know, right now that ground has traveled all the way back through with the wiring harness back into the fuse box, and that wire might be just the right length to make them things nasty noise. But normally it's those lights. And if you go putting jokes and stuff in your radio gear, then you're not going to hear as good as you do right now with that whip. Yeah, that was another thought too, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to ease the pain and probably just go back to halogens there, or either that just get the brightest set of halogens that money can buy. Let's put it that way.
They're not cheap at Advanced Auto, that's sure. I used to work there.
Yeah, I get it. And so I'll just find something online there. I mean, well, you know, it's kind of crazy. The high beams on this work great. I mean, on noise, of course, but geez, if you put it on low beams, it's almost like you got nothing. It's just like friggin' white light on a friggin' like hunting frogs.
Is it clear plastic on the front of your vehicle? Not faded out?
No, it's not, I know just that yellowing from the sun. It's not bad. Somebody had actually gone over them before. I can tell. I can see the swirl marks. And they're very good and clear. But the low beams there, not that great.
410 on that. Yeah, mine are getting bad on my truck there.
Yay. But, you know, I didn't know if I would have known LEDs were susceptible to make that type of noise, I wouldn't have bought them. So I would have gone with the brightest halogen I could find and just live with it, I guess.
Can I get a copy on me?
Hey, Pipeline, Lugnut's trying to call you.
All right. This is Lugnut. Your problem that you're having is a common problem. Many of towns have bought stuff off of Amazon, LED lights, LED plow lights, all that BS, and then the complaints came in that their radios didn't work either, with the headlights on. Okay, there is a company that makes an LED bulb with no fan, no power supply. I'll give you the information on it. I put my truck, I ran the same problem that you had, the 2006 Chevrolet Silverado. And no power supply, no bullshit. You just plug it in, it looks just like the other light bulb, and it's bright white, and no noise comes out of it.
Your signal went in half halfway through that there, Lugnut. Your signal dropped in half.
Yeah, probably because I didn't have my foot on the amplifier.
I don't know, how much of that did you catch, Pipeline?
I ran into the same problem. What you have is a common problem. Okay, many of towns have bought lights for plow trucks and whatever and ran into the same damn problem. So you had the radios didn't work. Okay, I don't know what you got, but I had a 2006 Chevrolet Silverado, and I found a set of lights that has no power supply. What are you talking about? No fans, had a built-in heat sink. And they went in there, and they look just like the other lights, except they're LEDs, bright white, what you're searching for, and they got no noise at all. I'd have to go get the cardboard box that I got. I bought them on eBay. Because I bought that, one for high and one for low, and I didn't put the highs in yet. But what you're searching for is basically you gotta lose the fan and you gotta lose the power supply. Yeah, I understand what you're up against. I'll look up the numbers and I'll get back to you on it. I'll toss it over to Bob and he'll send it to you one way or another. But I did find such a set that it does exist. No power supply, no fan.
Excellent. Well, that's good to know, because I thought this was something that I'm just going to have to figure a way and find somebody that runs outside of the 5 at each 11, because I think the Silverados do the same. I don't know if the Chiefs knows out on that, but I think the Dallas just something a little bit wide and rapid.
Well, I understand, man. I did the research on that because I didn't want to have the same bullshit happen to me. Because I run a bunch of radio gear in my truck, too. Yeah. I cut out, Bob, because my foot wasn't on the damn foot switch for the amplifier.
Son of a gun. Yeah, it was funny. I'm like, oh, his signal went in half. Whoops.
Well, I get an exciter hitting a big amp. So, yeah, I can see that. Exciter is only 15 watts.
Exciter power.
I'm also running a separate transmitter and separate receiver. You don't find that on the CB bands.
No, not usually.
My latch up, believe it or not, is a Drake T-FAR transmitter into the 4400 amp, receiving off a ICOM R71A.
That's one you don't see often. Yeah, go ahead, TB505.
Definitely. I'll let you know. I'll talk to you on the radio, or I'll message you my number.
All right, everyone. I'm going to call it a night. I got to get ready for bed. Thank you, everybody. And have a good evening. This is Radio Man over here in New Gloucester. We're going to shut her down.
What? Still early? Yeah, I guess it is a school night.
It is. I'll be around this weekend. All right, you guys take care. Yes, you too there, Pipeline. You too. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this from the old telephono here. I'll do my sign off here. Let's see. I don't know how well it'll work on sideband. We'll see. Let's see. How'd that come through? Fix it.
Oh, that was sweet. That was nice and clean.
All right. Well, very good. Here, this one's for TB505. Photon torpedoes away.
That ain't torpedoes. That's Star Wars shit. Something comes from the Star Wars.
I don't know. It's in my phone as Photon Torpedo.